Texas energy companies sign major oil deals with Venezuela. Venezuelan officials met with U.S. executives in Houston to sign major oil deals with SLB and Hun Oil, aiming to rebuild the nation's energy infrastructure. Houston, Texas. Venezuelan government officials met with U.S. energy executives in Houston this week to sign two major oil investment agreements aimed at expanding crude production and mapping underground reserves, according to statements released by Venezuela's foreign ministry. The deals were finalized during the Image 2026 Energy Conference in Houston, official records show. They mark the first commercial energy partnerships signed on U.S. soil under Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, following reforms to the South American nation's oil laws that reopened its energy sector to foreign capital. Drilling contracts and technical alliances. Under the agreements detailed by the ministry, Dallas-based Hun Oil entered a production contract to restore and optimize operations across two oil fields. In a separate deal, Houston-headquartered oilfield services giant SLB, formerly Schlumberger, signed a framework alliance to conduct nationwide technical studies on reservoir health and recovery potential. Houston hosted Venezuelan officials this week as they signed historic oil agreements with Texas companies SLB and Hun Oil to expand crude production. Venezuela's Minister of Hydrocarbons, Paula Henao, announced the deals during a panel alongside U.S. Deputy Secretary of Energy Kyle Hostveit, according to the ministry statement. Henao told conference attendees that recent legal reforms provide international investors with a regulatory certainty needed to tap into Venezuela's energy reserves, which remain the largest proven crude deposits in the world. Official records indicate the summit delegation also included executive leadership from Venezuela's state-owned oil company, Petróleos de Venezuela, S.A., known as PDVSA, as well as diplomatic representatives working with the U.S. Department of Energy. According to official Venezuelan government data reported by Agence France-Presse, crude output in the country has rebounded this year to 1.2 million barrels per day, BPD. Hun Oil entered a production contract to restore and optimize operations across the Caro and Carricito oil fields in eastern Venezuela, while SLB signed a framework alliance to conduct nationwide technical studies on reservoir health and recovery potential. Venezuela's oil minister Paula Henao announced that these rapid intervention contracts could boost the nation's crude output by up to 300,000 barrels per day within the next 12 months. Current crude output in Venezuela has rebounded to 1.2 million barrels per day this year. Experts caution that physical infrastructure requires sustained, multi-year capital investment before additional supply significantly impacts global markets. The agreements follow legal reforms enacted earlier in 2026 designed to attract foreign capital to the sector. In comparison to Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia's oil output is approximately 8 times larger than Venezuela's. While Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, its current production is a fraction of Saudi Arabia's due to decades of underinvestment and infrastructure decay. Current production levels, August 2026. Saudi Arabia produces approximately 8.2 to 10.1 million barrels per day BPD. Recent OPEC Plus data indicates a July output of 8.24 million BPD, with capacity to reach over 12 million BPD. Venezuela produces approximately 1.1 to 1.2 million BPD. State oil company PDVSA targets reaching 1.245 million BPD by the end of August 2026, aided by new deals with U.S. firms like SLB and Hun Oil. Key disparities. Despite Venezuela possessing roughly 303 billion barrels in proven reserves, surpassing Saudi Arabia's 267 billion, the operational gap remains massive. The metrics. Daily output. Saudi Arabia, 8.2, 10.1 million BPD. Venezuela, 1.1, 1.2 million BPD. Global share: Saudi Arabia, 10-12%. Venezuela, 1%. Reserve status: Saudi Arabia, light/medium crude, easier to extract. Venezuela, heavy/extra heavy crude, complex extraction. Infrastructure: Saudi Arabia, highly developed, significant spare capacity. Venezuela, severely degraded, requires billions in repairs. The recent agreement signed in Houston aimed to add up to 300,000 BPD to Venezuela's output within a year, but experts caution that reaching historic levels, over 3 million BPD, would require over a decade and hundreds of billions of dollars in investment. Conclusion: Meanwhile, the United States of America has its sights set on being the alpha artificial intelligence entity for full-spectrum dominance over every country, person, land, water, and air, and has given the green light for trillions of dollars invested and borrowed to establish empirical authority over the earth. As the largest proven oil reserves languish at the feet of the USA, the U.S. government is more focused on AI than energy to support such a massive worldwide project for the Alpha AI. It may be months or even years before any foreign currencies have any sustainability to revalue superior to the US dollar. And if history is the benefactor of the future, foreign fiat currencies, if anything, accumulate more debt and devalue over time through inflation and countries' reliance upon elite-controlled central banks that control the money as long as the banks control the money. Not only are the data centers, artificial intelligence, and robots becoming more and more of a threat to humanity, if the banksters are allowed to control the new blockchain digital dollar, whatever it's called, central bank digital currency, CBDC, or crypto, or some other clever ideational coining of new money, every aspect of humanity will be controlled by elitist billionaire banksters who we know do not have the people's rights in their sights, only more power, authority, and wealth for them. Thank you for watching this video, and please like, subscribe, click the notification bell for future show notifications, and leave a comment below expressing your assessments. New trust classes and classes on other topics are coming soon. As always, you can obtain many ebooks and softcover books on operations, creation, management, and trust scams at thefearlessfloydshow.com, and you can always email us at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. This video was created under the Fair Use Act and is copyright protected. Copyright 2026 Floyd, Pleasant Tarvin 4, and all rights reserved.